Hey folks, Bob Rapp here. It's August 20th. Hey, sorry I'm a little bit behind. At the Northwest Tech Alliance event up in Wenatchee, Dr. Sue Kane, who's doing a great job, did that first AI rollout, and Carl Sweetland, I think it was, did an awesome job. But I had talked to the Coalition for Tribal Broadband about how to think about doing generative AI rollout in Indian country. And I think this was a precursor to wiring the res. I don't recall if it was, but between Dr. Sue Kane, the North Central Washington Tech Alliance, Microsoft AI programs, and some other things. So the big question was, how do you create unique data sets for each tribe using RAG, so that the answer of am I a member of the tribe, or how do I learn a language or a dance or become culturally aware of my heritage, that the answer would be about, the Kootenai tribe or the Nez Perce tribe or the Coeur d'Alene tribe, as opposed to uh, the Muckleshoot or the Puyallup or one of the other coastal tribes. So this is Perplexity Pro. This is a tool I use a lot for prototyping. This app is not ready for prime time. This is just a demo. It does work, but it's really just an ideation or an idea starter. I'm happy to join a call. I'm a big fan of what you do with the broadband initiative, and I was part of the Microsoft Airband initiative and was really proud of the work that we did to bring broadband globally to folks. So, first of all, let's look at what the lab output is. And by the way, the lab output is, as I talked about, it talks about the steps that it went through to think about this, right? So it shows you how it thought about this. It shows you the sources that it went to, so you can see if you think those sources are good. So it's not like it will get rid of hallucination, but it will show you what it did. It shows you its thinking. Then it shows you the assets that it created, right? So usually those are sort of little Python programs or other things that will kind of do presentation layer stuff. And then it will create an app. The lab, though, um, gives a plan for implementation around topics that we talked about: infrastructure, data sovereignty, partnership, RAG development, language tools, elder knowledge, youth education, economic development, health and welfare, training, and sustainability. So partnering with Microsoft, the Indigenous program with Microsoft, Azure AI Services, Cloud Sovereignty Education Partnership. And Lisa Carstetter, as you all know, is awesome. Walter and Sue, you know Lisa well. Dr. Sue Kane, love what you do with the North Central Washington Tech Alliance. What are we looking at? Well, there's how do we think about employment, living wages, business development? How do we use AI to maybe jumpstart AI on native land for first people? Um, and how do we do culturally relevant STEM? How do we do youth pathways, coding boot camps, programming, other things where we aren't necessarily going to have community college or college, but how do we give people the right tools to start using AI well? Culturally appropriate healthcare, mental health support, community health. Big one is target languages. Learning languages, particularly if you're part of the Confederated Tribes or other smaller tribes. So you're not the Muckleshoot, you're not the Puyallup, or you're not the Cherokee or whatever. Um, how do you learn the Salish languages, for instance? So we can use that with AI applications. RAG system, right? That retrieval access generation, augmented generation, really says I'm going to take a core set of knowledge about the tribe, maybe the stories, practices, arts, culture, dance, sacred knowledge. And by the way, we might want to protect the sacred knowledge through user level access, traditional symbols. How do we think about sovereignty, ownership, control, access, position, technical safeguards, and then talks about a foundational plan. So I've got this document. I'll share it with you. Just ping me an email, and then let me show you the actual app. And this, by the way, is a beginning app to think about how we build cultural knowledge. How do we maybe do cultural chat? So we could say, hey, I want to learn about my tribe. So I'm going to ask a question. Tell me um, the history of the Nez Perce. Let me misspell it here. And it's going to say, uh, right? And it talks about knowledge retrieval. Language learning, maybe I want to learn the Chinook language. So how do I do, I can do language learning. The origins of Mount Rainier, right? From the Puyallup tribe, creation story, woman who married a dog, the cultural hub, right? And by the way, something like the Elwha canoe experience that a lot of the tribes were participated in. AI tools, language learning, cultural chatbot, digital storytelling, data sovereignty, really important. Now, remember, the most important thing about data science and AI and everything is that it's garbage in, garbage out. So remember that the knowledge that you have as a tribe needs to be carefully curated by the elders, by people that know what they're doing, because otherwise we're going to lose that for next generations. You also think about who can have access to it inside or outside of the tribe. So just some thinking things to do. This is a volunteer area I care a lot about, and I want to make sure that folks that our heritage for First People is being protected. So thanks, everybody. I'll see you in email. Take care, bye, folks. Whoops.